we've been really focused with the intentional work behind, learning the skill set. And maybe a few of you guys that are super brand new here not know what the heck's going on here. Meaning that some people probably have heard of smart money, right? A few people on this call that, well, as we're recording, you guys already heard it. And other people have not. And if you are still like wondering why is it the fact that we trade the way we trade, then I want you to really, really go down to the beginning stages of understanding the fundamentals of the basic of smart money, right? And that is the intention behind this whole thought process. A lot of people think that smart money is a strategy because we call it, oh, I trade smart money or I trade SMC. And of course, that's just a way on how we can actually approach it. And we let everybody know what it is and how we are looking to, strategize inside this market. Is that you have to be aware that smart money isn't just a strategy, but it's more so a thinking process, right? You really have to sit down and think what it is that you're actually doing when you're marking up these charts. You can't just come in here and think that you're going to find something when it comes down to, um, looking for certain like, support and resistance, and let's get into that buy for the support, or let's get in that, that's resistance to get in for a sell, you know? That's why the biggest thing here is like we're not really going to be coming into this aspect and thinking that this is the way on how we want to approach the market, right? What we want to do is we want to come in this and understand that the goal behind this whole strategy here, guys, is to think just like the banks. Actually go to ChatGPT, forget um forget Google for now. Let's go straight to ChatGPT, right? Who holds the most money inside the stock market? It'll be searching up who exactly it is and gives you exactly who these people are. And the main points that you will get is the fact that it's going to be large institutional investors, right? You have people like BlackRock, Vanguard groups who are holding $1 trillion inside the market. So keep in mind that these small accounts, and I parenthesize this as small accounts, as in like 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. These accounts do not do any type of damage compared to the trillions of the big institutional players, right? These are the people who are actually the wealthiest, who are holding the most money inside the market, who do large impacts when it comes down to seeing movements like this, or even so seeing movements like this. But when you start to position yourself in a smart money concepts, like in other words, there's this saying that even the educators themselves, trade house, right? The people who are actually teaching us this whole skill set when it comes down to smart money concepts, they like to say this concept and say, put your tinfoil hat on, meaning like another word for think, like your thinking cap on, and really think what is happening inside this market as we speak, right? What is the condition that we're approaching this? I get it. We're here and we want to make some money. And it's not a bad thing. If there's one big key tip I can give you guys, as funny as this is going to sound right now, I want you guys to understand this. What would happen if you decided to trade different and think different? What would happen if you decide to say, today, I'm not looking to make some money. I'm not trading to make money. Well, that sounds stupid, right? How are you going to tell me I'm not here to make some money if I'm here to make some money, Mary? Like, God wouldn't be here to waste my time. Of course. But you understand that you can make money because if that's the number one thing, you decided to learn this skill set because you understood that you're ready to make money here, right? You understand that no one has to convince you. So if you know that you can make money in this, then why not take the idea out of the picture because it's coming, it's there. Why not take the idea out the picture and approach trading in a way where I am here to trade the setup. I am here to trade the rules that I have applied. And if they are there, I take it. Because the reward is you following your rules, not you breaking your rules and you over leveraged and then now you doubled your account. That was probably a nice home run, lucky run for you. But instead of doing that, why not actually take the money out the picture, stop trading for money, and trade the actual setup and the actual rules that you have applied for? The actual same game plan that you set upon for yourself. Because I think in that aspect, right, this is the part that a lot of people actually tend to get bored of. They tend to get bored. No, I'm here because I want to make money. Making money is fun, right? Who wouldn't want to make money? As a wise woman would say, aka Jasmine, rica, you know? And that's one of the biggest things that you would want to do when you're inside this market. All you want to do is participate and fulfill that boredom, fulfill the overall, like, the action that's upon inside the markets. So instead of now saying, like, I'm here to make money, start saying, I'm here to trade the probability of the setup. And my reward is if I follow my rules, then I make money. If I don't follow my rules, then by down the road, I can make certain profits, but it won't last forever. If you come with that account with the mindset that you're wanting to make money and you're willing to do whatever it takes to grow to double this account, you probably will get to that point, but you're going to reach to a certain high peak. We like to call this as the trader's high peak of, it's like deja vu. Like you start here and like you think that you will never see that $600 ever again, but more so you would see an increase by a large percentage because you've been able to double this account. And there's a point where traders make it to this very high end peak where they feel like they're unstoppable and that nothing's going to ever get to them. That nothing's going to, like, all these losses. What is a loss? I am flipping my accounts. What is a retracement to the account? No, I am here to double my account because I'm going to make it happen. And that is one of the biggest things that you have to be aware about is that what comes up, quote unquote, must come down, but what goes up with over leveraging eventually comes down with as well over leveraging because of the amount of the times that you risked or over risked. So that is what the institutions want you to do. They want you to look and say, look, guys, we're here to make some money. You can make money inside this market. By all means, start a live account, do what you want, right? Whatever the case may be, whether it is a $600 account that you're starting off with, or even so 1,000, just know there's a euphoria that you can literally flip this account. And when you do that, there is unstoppable movement. And you don't want that to happen, guys. You want this to continue the run. You want this to do it in a fashionable manner when you obviously continue your system that's in play. Because these institutions want you to make it to the euphoria level where it's unstoppable. But you don't want to get to that euphoria level. You want to make sure you're staying at a decent level where you're increasing your mindset, but you want to make sure that this euphoria you don't get to that point where now you feel like you're never gonna, hurt anything. When you start to think of it like that, if all these people hold this money and we are a small percentage, but what is trading all about? And that is where you start to get more into depth, right? What does trading mean for you? Anybody in the chat? What does trading mean for you? Jasmine says train skill sets. And if you break that even more down, then you develop skills that you never thought you would ever develop here. Was discipline, understand yourself. You see, I love what Fabricio said. A reflection of yourself. I would like to add on top of that. So the markets are here to create a reflection of you. Trading will show you who you really are as a person. You think you are a certain person now until you meet US 30 or until you meet Nas 100 or maybe oil. You know? You pretty much you think you would know yourself until you meet these pairs or until you meet your match. Guys, I tell the story all the time. It's like I'm not embarrassed to say it. And I really don't care what anybody thinks, but it's like, guys, like there was a point where I definitely lost like a for sure over four figures of live accounts before everything started clicking for me. Probably the total that I lost was like maybe like $6,000 maybe. I'm not, and that was because of over leveraging, over risking, and me wanting to make money. But I've understood that you have to take that idea out. And as, and I'm telling you, like I don't know how else or other way to put it for anybody else. But until you decide to take that out the picture and you officially learn to surrender the markets, then everything will start to become more clear. Everything will start to work into your favor because you've officially allowed to accept what losing is, what losing looks like. It's not like, oh, I lost one time, I lost two times. Okay, next try I'm going to over leverage to make that back. That's not accepting at all. Accepting is willing to take a loss after loss after loss, and you're learning from that losses and you reflect on it and you continue to use that information and data that you just collected to move on to the next trade. That is what, right? Surrendering and looking to forfeit. Okay, I'm done. Whatever happens, I just can control what I can control. And that is my calculating my lot size and protecting my capital. That is your goal behind this market, is to protect yourself from these guys right here. Your goal is to protect yourself from these guys, the big hedge funds. So when you're doing this, guys, allow yourself to really do that. Because if the market is a reflection of you, like Fabricio said, you start to realize and figure out that you're actually, if you're over leveraging, it's because you're greedy as a person. But it's not a bad thing. You can't be ashamed because you want more money. Like again, who wouldn't want no more money? Where if you don't control your emotions, then the market is going to humble you as faster than you think. Or you feel the fear of missing out. Have you ever noticed that whenever sometimes people are trading and you're like, what the heck? There's people who are getting inside trades and I'm just sitting here and, and everybody's talking about in the chats saying like, oh, we're up, we're up, we're up. And now you feel FOMO. This is also the thing that the market wants you to feel. Because when there's a movement happening, right? When there's a certain movement happening inside the market that you see here, and let's just say at this point scenario, you're looking to actually come into this for a certain sell-off, right? Let's just say markets currently here as we speak, already moving mitigated, and you're like, crap, everybody's posting this inside the powerhouse chats. Let me get inside of this. And you know what? I'm gonna get inside right here. I don't care. I wanna continue gaining or catching at least some of this movement here. But now your stop loss is totally different from the stop loss before. Plus, your risk to reward is very off. You went from saying that your rules are about risking or going into one to twos. Let's just say for that example, you're like, oh, every setup that I get into is always going to be a one to two. But the moment that you don't get inside your setup and you get somewhere way more below because you want to technically catch the rest of the ride, that one to two does not end up as a one to two anymore. Ends up actually a different type of risk to reward. Unless you're working your way for a re-entry, but that's a whole different topic right there for more of my advanced traders. So forget about catching the remaining of the wave. Guys, look at this an infinite amount of waves coming. There are waves coming inside the market no matter what. So catching a small wave, guys, it's okay to miss it. Have you ever noticed? Okay, this is perfect. Who's seen this before or who's done this before, right? Probably, I'm not sure if you guys ever attempted it. And if you have, awesome. If you haven't, then cool. But there is a surfers, right? Here's our two surfers watching and looking at the ocean as we speak right now. And in this ocean, what are they doing? They're admiring and looking at the sunset. But what are these surfers' goals to do? Their goal is to catch a wave, right? They're not trying to force a wave. They're not trying to create waves. They're not trying to, make a wave up. They are being patient and waiting for the wave to come to them. And they're watching a beautiful, peaceful sunset. So, guys, what if we decided to switch our perspective and decided to say, you know what? Instead of me actually trying to create a setup, catch a setup, you know, enter a mid setup, remaining catch the remaining, maybe just sitting there patient may not feel fun. But why don't you just switch your perspective and say, you know what? It's beautiful to wait. Because just like it's beautiful to look at a sunset, why isn't it beautiful to wait for a perfect setup to actually come to you and it's formulated into something way more bigger than you think? Because what's happening? The next wave is going to come. The next movement's going to come. But we're over here trying to catch a small little movement that got no business for us to get into it, but we want to get into it and create something that is not even meant for us to get into. And then we hurt ourselves, and the next thing you know, it burns our accounts, and then now we're back at square one, and we just literally wiped out all of our freaking hard work, all because of an emotional decision, aka of a fear of missing out, or greed, or the ego gets to you because you don't want to take a loss. And that's a different topic right there, too. That's a whole different one too. Taking losses, right? I suffer from that like heavily, guys. You know, and I can say because I guess I by looking in the chat, like guys, I know you guys personally. You know, I'm not sure if Fabricio if Daniel's with you, and if he is, these are people. All of you guys in general are people that I know that are very competitive people, but I don't think in a bad way. You guys like to win. Jasmine, I think you played sports and plus you do weightlifting. You're at the gym, you're working out. How does it feel like when you do some reps and then you don't finish even your reps? You're doing like, you know, excuse my language, but half-ass reps. You don't like it. You want to make sure that you're doing full complete reps because that's how it is that you feel like you want to do. And so, I feel weak, boom. So it doesn't feel good because you're a very competitive person. Fabricio, you too, guys. Like, you and Daniel as well. Like, you guys, y'all worked very hard to gain that motorcycle y'all have. Beautiful motorcycles, by the way. Those are very beautiful. And it took probably a long time for you to get that. If not, you had to put some work to get it to it. So you're very competitive to get to that point inside your journey. So it's like having to take those losses, guys, it's gonna hurt because you have not done one, surrender to the market, and number two, actually accepted the fact that you're here to take risk inside trading. And you have not fully accepted that trading is part of risk. If we cannot take losses inside the market, it's probably because we haven't yet accepted, quote unquote, trading is risky and it's part of risk. But how do we accept it? Because it's easy to say, but how do you actually accept it? Because Neri, that is going through my head. And maybe the person, whoever's gonna watch this in the future, or maybe I'm speaking to you guys as well too. Okay, I hear you when you say you don't want to take a loss, but like, how do you even get to a point to accept it? Guys, there will be a point inside your journey you're just gonna get freaking tired of burning accounts. You don't think I got tired of burning accounts? You know, there was a point where I got tired of burning accounts. But it has to get to a point where you're just really just sick and tired of actually burning your accounts and you just decide to say, if nothing changes, you will never make this as a real skill set that you claim that you want to be, especially if you want to make real big money. If you're doing funded accounts, you definitely need to be disciplined. If you're doing live accounts, you definitely need to be disciplined. There is no change there. Of course, funded accounts have way more rules, but your live account have way more open, free rules for you to do whatever you want. But that's where you have to really come into place and really narrow yourself down. Because a funded account, I understand, it doesn't have as many rules as um it may feel like you have a lot of rules, better said. It may feel like you have a lot of rules, but the reality truth is this. I feel like, and this is probably I'm not sure if anybody will agree with me with this one, but I genuinely feel like funded accounts could be a lot more easier. They feel hard because, of course, you're having to go through all these rules for the first time ever. You're going through greed and things like that. But they at least have some type of standards for you to say, look, if you just make one mistake, aka by blowing off and breaking the rules on one thing, you're done with your account. They take it away from you. No ifs, buts, ands, boom. I don't care if it was by 1 penny. Boom, you're done. So you're like very a little bit more careful with it. You're like, oh, you know what? I'm careful. With the live account, there's zero rules. If you don't set anything applying, this is where I'm going to be very careful. What I'm about to say. I'm not saying that there's no rules because you don't make it. Of course, as a trader, you want to create your own live account rules. But the thing is, inside a live account, you have to create your trading plan. You actually, let me rewrite this again. You create a trading plan with the live account. But again, live accounts are like, well, who cares if, you know, you say if your risk is 1% for the day and now you're negative 7%, who cares? Like, who's gonna take away the count? No one until you blow it and the market officially takes it away from you and it liquidates you out. With the funded account, at least from that point on, you have a 5% for the day. And the moment you reach that 5%, you're done. They don't know ifs, ands, or buts. They're still very hard. I'm not saying that they're not. But as a live account, you have to be as well very strict with your rules. How is it that we can actually say we're okay with taking losses? Guys, that is going to be the biggest thing right there, is finally getting to a point where if you don't follow these rules, you will never get to that point. Yes, you will hit home runs. Yes, you would probably make a big winning trade day. But what goes up inside over leveraging accounts usually comes very fast down with over risking your account and you lose it. And then you made into that like I said, the euphoric world. So keep that in mind. And then it ended off with this, like, it exposes you. Guys, trading is going to expose the person that you are. If you're scared to get into a trade, you're probably fearful of taking risks in life. If you're scared to take your own setup, you probably don't have as much confidence into yourself to do certain things even in life. And it's not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing. It's awareness. This is the beautiful thing about trading. A lot of people, they think what I'm about to say is kind of harsh, but at the end of the day, it's not harsh. It's just the truth of trading. Everybody sees the market so differently. But this is the topics that people don't like to talk about. Because why? It's boring, it's still, it's stiff. There's no action going on. There's no movement. There's no feeling of me actually doing something productive because I'm not in the market and you're fiending for it because you want to participate in the market. That is what's happened. But that is what these guys here want you to feel. They want you to blur away and blur off this topic that is discussed. So you focus on you can make money, you can make money. Of course, come see us. You can definitely make a living here. Come on, come on, throw us this live account. But they don't really talk about too much of like the psychology side. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and look up psychology videos, and then go on YouTube and look up strategy videos. You'll probably see psychology videos have less videos than the strategy videos. Why? Because people have it completely wrong. They have it like flipped upside down, right? It's not, look, and this is the only thing I'll wrap it up with. It's not the market that wants to beat you, right? Because I know I said that the market's here is to beat you and to get you out. That's the intention, to liquidate you out, because the thing is, like, that's why liquidity is there, is because they want to target where the money's at for liquidity, right? It's like magnets of money. So this is like easy play, child play for them. But I want you to think of it a lot more deeper, right? We understand they're aiming to do that, to take those people out. But fully, guys, just for like more of inner self, it's not that the market wants to beat you. It's your impatient, doubt, overconfidence, or emotional attachment to the direction. Because what trading will bring it out will be your flaws, and really more so the surface of what you think, who you think you were before, or who you think you are, and expose you from that. So, market is here again, yes, to liquidate you out, but really it's not. You're not really going against them. You're going against yourself. Little do you know that. So, keep that in mind, guys, because there's going to be a lot, right? A lot with it. And if there's one small thing I would say, I want you guys to leave off with this, is trading is a war between who you are and who you're becoming. I don't like how this is all uppercase. Trading is a war between who you are and who you're becoming. Every loss is a lesson. Excuse me. And every win is rented. And the rent is due every day. Keep that in mind. But other than that, guys, pretty much that'll be just wrapping up this call. And yeah, hopefully I'll learn something. And other than that, let's just get it. So.
Security guard at the front and the back of the crib. I'm bang, look back when I jump out the van. 6 man cracked up in the back of the whip. If the car gets spun, rolls back in the bin. And I slipped up once, it won't happen again. If I